Dad and Rock presents The Invasion After Show. This is Sean.
And this is Chris. Well, you
We
broke
are
up
here.
the invasion.
Yeah, the one and only, I think. This is episode 6 of The Invasion After Show, talking about episode 6 of Invasion on Apple TV Plus. We've been doing this. We did this only, well, I guess 3 times prior. First episode was 3 episodes. Anyway, we're Dad and Rock. I don't know if you guys know who we are. We do a bunch of after shows like this. We did a lot of the Marvel stuff on Disney Plus. We did Mandalorian. We did Ted Lasso, which is a big hit. And this is probably our first show that we've done that isn't a big hit, but we are pushing right through it, moving right along.
Absolutely. And if you guys are watching live, we're interactive. Drop a comment. We'll address it. We'll keep moving. Sometimes it's better when you can, intervene when we
Please
stop our
do.
stuff.
Yes. Stop us in our tracks. We don't know what we're doing. Distract us, please.
There we go. So Invasion. What was it? Home Invasion. This one. What a name. Invasion. Home Invasion.
Yeah, last episode Going Home. This episode Home Invasion.
Okay.
It was, I mean, the title was pretty appropriate, I'd say.
It went right along with the way things went here. What were you when you were watching after you were done? What was your first impressions of this episode itself?
I was surprised that we stuck with only one of our locations / characters. Started with Aneesha, ended with Aneesha, and it was Aneesha and her family all the way through. I thought that was cool and different. It was a welcome change, I think, because I got a little tired of the monotony of like switching from location to location to location over and over again, like kind of almost like an old school soap opera or something. I was definitely getting soap opera vibes, especially when there was a severe lack of aliens. This one we got a lot of aliens.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so I liked it.
I love this one. I turned it on kind of like you originally. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this. I don't know when I'm gonna watch it, how I'm gonna. And when it went to Aneesha and it started with her, just kind of in that stupor phase she was in the back of the ambulance, I'm like, where are we going with this? And then she like takes off and starts going back, by foot really quickly, back to back to the house. And then we just stayed with her. And like you said, just we had one singular story, and we finally got a part of the invasion show.
Yeah, 6 episodes in.
And I mean, I loved it. The tension of the show, it gave off a lot of the Quiet Place vibes to me. So I feel like it was really influenced by that movie. This just one episode. And I mean, I highly enjoyed this one here. This one I was very pleased with.
Yeah, I liked it too. And plus it was I mean, it was short. I mean, it was only 34 minutes. It was action packed for what happened. I mean, I was looking through the notes here, and all of it is like actions, like one sentence of something happening, and not a lot of dialogue, not a lot of reveals by way of character development, really. But a lot of reveals as far as what we're dealing with these aliens, these creatures. They, I do like the design of them. I think they look pretty cool. Just like the black oozy shape shifting kind of form that they make and how they move around and how quick they are. Like I think they're unique. They got a little bit of alien like xenomorph vibes just because they're black and slick, but they're almost kind of like a blob too. They're kind of cool.
But almost down those lines is again like the Quiet Place, where they're like they hear something, they're fast, and they're right on top of you. So I mean, maybe it's because I like Quiet Place so much. That's why this one here, like I was on board when they were talking about being quiet and like you don't say anything, and they're going to find you, and like any type of sound they're going to go after. I was all about.
Yeah, we're starting to learn the rules a little bit. That's kind of one of the biggest things of any movie like this, invasion movie or monster movie or alien movie. You got to learn like the monster's weaknesses and how to actually survive around them. So far, it's been a bloodbath, man. I mean, we open up with Aneesha. She snaps out of her haze that she was in all episode last episode.
Yeah.
Just where am I? Oh, I guess I'm along for the ride. I'm a doctor. Yeah, I'll do whatever. What about your kids, lady? And finally.
It snapped into her. It's like, oh, I got to get back to the family.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, what was I doing? I gotta get back to my family. Whoops. And she just tells them to pull over. They actually do stop. They don't, at first they give her an argument like, "Hey, we're not stopping this thing," and then it just cuts to the van stopped and she runs out. But yeah, then she starts running and she goes down the road a bit and she finds what was it, National Guard, I guess, that were just laid out on the road dead.
Oh yeah, National Guard was in a rough spot, and well, you know what? Let's check it out, and then we'll talk about it here.
Creepy.
I would be freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, you just got the news that there are things on this earth that they're not from this earth,
Right.
and then you're trying to get back to your family and your kids,
And
and
she's seen all the injuries at the makeshift hospital, like, the tents she was working on people. Yeah, and to see, these are people that have guns, should be able to defend themselves, and they're just laid out just, as they were, like, that's totally scary. Their guns weren't working too well for them,
yeah,
apparently.
nothing. Oh yeah, you find guy. I mean, you didn't see a single any of them dead. You've
Yeah.
seen all the the National Guards, all the soldiers. They're all dead, but there
Yeah.
wasn't like one casualty from the other side.
Yeah, no aliens, yeah. Totally
And
scared, she's freaking out, she's like, "I gotta get back to my kids." She hops in the Humvee that's parked there. She got it going at first, but then it almost immediately died. So I'm still wondering, like, do the aliens have some sort of, like, EMP thing in effect that's, like, draining power and batteries? I'm not sure because later in the episode, the farmer's truck seems to run pretty well, so it's a little scattered what's going on there.
I almost think it was like a stick shift, and she didn't know how to drive it.
Oh, yeah, that could
I
be
almost
too.
kind of got that vibe out of it, where she got it going, then it stalled,
Right.
and then because she was messing with like the stick in the middle.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like she just didn't know how to drive a stick shift, and she was just. It would have been more of a hassle for her to be stalling every 5 minutes and actually on foot.
Yeah, that could be, but she exits the vehicle and she makes it on foot the rest of the way back to this farmer's house. By the time she gets there, it's dark, so it had to have taken a bit for her to get there on foot. But she does, and she finds the place in disarray, man. I mean, like the door's locked, no one's answering her yells, which is surprising now that I look back how quiet they were the rest of the show, and she's just like screaming.
Well, she breaks the window even to get in.
Yeah, and she's yelling for her kids and her husband. She's like, "Ahmed, Luke, Sarah," and
Well,
the rest
it
of the
didn't
episode, they're
take
like,
too long
"Shut
after
up."
she got into the house
Yeah,
where all of a sudden things started like just like, like these alien type things put off like a vibration,
yeah,
and things started going haywire on her. And then she was in complete panic mode, thinking, they're after seeing the National Guardsmen, now they're all dead too, her whole family. So she's completely in freak out mood, and she's just trying to hide.
right.
And then the owner of the house, she finds a room where they actually has the attic access,
Yeah.
and then a hand comes out of from the heavens essentially.
Yeah, she trips over the dog that we saw, the farmer's dog, that I guess German Shepherd or whatever, he's throwing the ball around to. He's dead on the floor. I don't know. I think the farmer said that he used his buckshot, his shotgun to shoot one of the aliens dead. So I don't know if that was on the floor too.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if it was the dog or if it was an alien or really what that was on the floor.
I
'Cause I
think I
really
saw some
didn't.
fur. I think I saw some fur, so I think it was it might have been both, I don't know. It's tough because, look, I've got this big TV behind me back there, and it's HDR, it's 4K. I had a tough time managing to see a lot of this
It was
episode.
really dark. The
So
the whole
dark.
episode was really dark.
Yeah,
And I mean, honestly, it played to the episode well
right,
because it kept on giving us ominous feels. It's like what's around the next corner. The actual music to this episode was on point because there was
right.
always that like violin type feel where you don't know if something's going to jump out of the next room for you. So I mean, I appreciated that honestly.
Yeah, there's times where that works, and then there's a fine line between it being intentional and being scary, and then just not lighting the scene well. Even if a scene is dark and you have a dark environment where the power's out, you can still light it in a way where you're able to see what's going on around you. So I don't know if that was an intentional choice or not, but there were moments in this episode I was like, what is even happening? Because there's so
It's a
many
little much.
shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she gets pulled up into the attic. All her family's still present and accounted for. The farmer and his wife, and they're just freaking out. I guess they got the news too somehow. I don't know if they were watching TV or whatever, but they got the news that this is officially an
Or
alien invasion.
well, they were keying later on. They were keying on a radio, so it's possible they had
Right.
a
True.
radio on, and they had the presidential address came over the radio as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it would have. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're up in the attic, and I mean, Anisha's freaking out because she found her kids and Ahmed, and and then the farmer and the owner of the house and his wife are pretty much telling him, quiet, quiet, quiet. You're going to lead them right to us type situation.
Yeah, and Anisha's not she's kinda listening, but also not, like, she's still, like, saying, "Oh, my honey, my sweetie, my kids, oh, I missed you," and they're still, like, hugging and loving, the farmer's like, "Would you shut up?"
Yeah.
Like, he's starting to piss off the homeowner, and they finally quiet down, but after that point, the alien's, like, already inside and kinda hunting around, and, farmer's wife starts losing it,
Oh,
you
she
know?
lost her crap, man. She's,
Yeah.
I mean, reciting Bible verses, and they're going to run out of air in the attic.
Yeah, it's like, well, these people have to leave. You have to get out. And then her own husband's like, no, you guys aren't going anywhere. I would just be like, look, you guys decide what you want from us and we'll do it. Just like, but talk amongst yourselves. You guys figure it out.
Yeah. You guys
Because
fighting and giving us two different answers isn't helping the situation at all.
yeah, Anisha's like, we'll go, because Anisha at this point, she feels, I don't know, capable enough or whatever. Like she feels the danger from them also. So it's like, you don't have to tell me twice. I'll go and
Well, he
figure it out.
basically said he had another shot in the shotgun.
Right. Yeah.
It was like
Yeah. So,
at that point, he's now threatening them as well.
right.
So
Yeah.
she's like, you know what? Enough's enough.
Yeah, I'll just leave, but then he says that they can't. And I think it was during this commotion that started to escalate where Ahmed and the farmer was kind of getting in a tussle over the gun, and Sarah fell through the ceiling there through the attic down into the bedroom below.
Who I had bad things going through my head when that happened. Like, there's no way
Yeah,
they can't kill this child in the show. I mean, there's a line usually, and that may be the line.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, an adult dying is one thing. You killing off a child, man. Don't talk about getting people talking about the show.
I
Uh,
love that Anisha sprang into action though. That was my one how like dazed and confused she was last episode. It really struck me in the wrong way because the earlier episodes she was especially after stuff started going down. I mean, she was mad about her husband cheating and everything, but once
yeah,
starts stuff getting serious, she was all about how do I take care of my kids, one after the other situation where she's like, I'm taking this car, need to do what I'm got to do. And all in the service of taking care of her kids or family. That's why the last episode was such a weird character thing where she was doing the total opposite.
yeah.
And then now she's back. She's like, "Oh, my daughter just fell through the floor. I'm
I'm
going
going
right
after her.
after. I'm going through that hole myself."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Um,
they basically what they hide in a closet, or that's how she kind of got them. Got them safe. But all of a sudden, the homeowner's wife is freaking out to the point where she's backing up, and then she essentially does the exact
Same
same
thing. She
thing.
falls through her own ceiling. It reminded me of every time you're in an attic and you fall through the floor or the slash ceiling there, it just reminds me of Clark Griswold and
Then he's just sitting on the
Christmas
bed,
Vacation.
keeping warm.
This one was a lot scarier though, falling
Oh
through.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it didn't end well for her. She became alien food
She sure did, and then, we don't see the farmer. That's kind of the last we see of the farmer
because
for
Ahmad
a few scenes.
takes Luke, and he
Yeah,
just exits the attic. He just takes
he
off.
books it, yeah. Luke has some, well, I should say Luke and Ahmed, they have some preserving, emotions there. Ahmed actually, after being a man of, like, inaction for pretty much the first half of this,
Yeah,
series so far, he did have some moments where he was like, "Okay, I've gotta do something, in
yeah.
the
He
service of his
just
kid."
picks him up, even though he's like Luke's sitting there with his hands over his ears, just kind of like like freaking out like any child would.
Yeah.
And but having the ability to internalize it, knowing that if he actually is loud, everyone's going to get hurt, which
Yeah.
shows a level of like maturity of that character as well.
So Anisha's in this closet that's kind of underneath the stairs down on the first floor. She's got Sarah with her. Sarah's head is bleeding, I guess, from the fall, and
Yeah.
she's trying her best to keep Sarah, calm and quiet. Meanwhile, she's kind of like peeking out this closet door. Ahmed and Luke are crawling upstairs in the hallway. They see where Anisha is and they're crawling to her. I thought it was kind of a touching scene because they make eye contact with each other and they're kind of like silently questioning each other, like, "Where's Luke? Are you okay? Is it safe?"
Yeah.
Just
You
these
can tell it was a
moments.
connection there.
Yeah.
They've had a connection at one point where they knew what each other were thinking
Yeah.
at that given time.
Right. That shorthand that a married couple would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciated that scene. It kind of spoke a lot. And Luke and his dad Ahmed, they make their way kind of an army crawl down these steps, and because this alien is distracted in the dining room at this point, Ahmed makes a decision though. He's gonna attempt to clear the
He's
front
going for the
door
door. Yeah.
of these obstructions. There's a bunch of furniture and stuff laid out in front of it. It's like we got to get out. So he makes the decision to start clearing stuff out, even though that's probably going to make a lot of noise.
And he left Luke just standing there though.
Yeah, I
That
think
was
he thought that Luke was gonna, like, assist him, but Luke makes it and runs back to his mom, under the stairs, which fortunately for him was probably the right decision because that alien made its way around the corner and eventually got to Ahmed.
yeah, now at that point I'm thinking, "Oh, he's done. He's
I did
off."
too. Yeah,
I thought that was the end of that character. No, we don't foresee him like we've kind of looked in the past shows like, okay, we don't see him surviving this.
right.
But I mean, at that point I thought it was all said and done.
It's still
And
questionable because he's definitely wounded, at the
I've got a theory
Okay,
about him right now.
right, we'll
And
get there.
it's gonna go along with other things we've already seen in the show.
Okay.
So I've got an idea. We'll kind of approach that in a little bit here once we're about wrapped up.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean now Anisha, she's like she gets that gun. She finds the gun that was on the floor, but she had at one point, but she freaked out and dropped it. And
Yeah, that she picked up from one of the National Guard, this handgun, where,
yeah,
yeah, she picked it up from the road earl in the beginning of the episode and freaked out and dropped it in the farmer's, living room, later in the episode. She picks back up. They go down. Oh, I guess this is a stairway to the basement is what this is. It's not a closet. Seemed like a closet at first, but it actually has a set of steps that goes into their basement. She books it, her and the kids. They go down there and, basically they find a window. Luckily, I mean, thank God they were able to reach this window and have this open up this window. She breaks
yeah.
it open and it was big enough for them to actually crawl through. But she escapes just in time, essentially, because the alien busts down the door while they're trying to leave this basement
What
window.
do you think of how he's busting these doors, man? It's not like he's just like knocking them over and going through them. It's like he's throwing the doors
These
out of the
things are
way.
strong, and you see how strong they are when the moment of impact when he hits Ahmed. I mean, it knocks Ahmed back halfway through the room that he was standing in.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're pretty dang
there's a lot
powerful,
of
these
force with
aliens.
them.
Oh, for sure, yeah. What happens then? She's getting chased, basically. She's terrified.
Well, they're
Um,
standing outside the house, and she's looking at the car, and they're like, she goes to the car, and she can't get in; it's all locked.
right.
We see the actual homeowner again. He's
Yeah.
outside. He chucks the keys at her, and
He
he's
tells
like,
her to get
"Start
it
it up."
started. Yeah.
Yeah, and next thing you know, we see. I think we hear him fire his last shot,
Yeah.
and then we see the alien basically hit him.
Yeah.
And I think that was
And
the end of the homeowner. Is that right? Is that the last time we see him? I
I
think.
think it's safe to assume that the homeowner's probably dead now. Yeah. So then the alien turns its attention from the farmer, the old guy with the shotgun, to Anisha and starts chasing her towards the
Well,
truck.
she wrecks the vehicle. She just puts it in reverse and guns it, and she gets
Yeah, she
like,
does. She freaks out when she sees the farmer get laid out, and she screams, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And she panics, and she basically like goes full reverse, full pedal to the metal, and gets
yeah.
stuck.
And the next thing you know, it's like the back's propped up, and she can't get out from underneath it. And it's, I mean, I would be freaking out at that point. I mean,
Yeah,
what do we do? How do we? I mean, you're stuck. You're
she's
not getting
starting to
out of the
formulate.
car.
She's starting to think like, okay, this thing wants me to move. It's almost like the T Rex in Jurassic Park. Like maybe if I don't move, maybe if I'm quiet, it'll just like walk away and
Yeah,
not
it
know I'm
won't
here.
see me. Or if we stay quiet and just kind of sit here,
Yeah,
it will never notice I'm here.
that didn't work though, because next thing we know, that alien's busting through the windshield.
Yeah. Oh man, and it blasted through too. And we'll see. Let's see how Anisha actually reacted to the smashing of the windshield here.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go.
She went full mama bear.
She sure did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what that was. I mean, we prior to that, she used a gun. She shot that a few times. It did absolutely nothing, which harkens back to Afghanistan when they were firing the weapons at the actual ship and it did nothing.
Yeah, and the National Guardsmen that were laid out on the road too. Apparently,
Yeah,
their arms were doing nothing. But good old fashioned bludgeoning with a sharp,
what?
mysterious black object.
Yeah, I think that well, you keyed on it before. It's
Yeah,
like, where did Luke get this? It was in his book bag. He was very protective of it,
right.
and there's something to that metal or whatever it's made of
Yeah,
that is going to be able to lead to more a resolution to this
yeah.
issue down the road.
Something's going on there with whatever that object is that Luke found, and Anisha used it to kill this thing. Well, that's the first
Yeah.
time we've seen an alien die. So if it bleeds, we can kill it.
If it dies, it dies.
If it dies, it dies. Yeah. So that's insane. We think I thought that was kind of the end of the episode. And it was so cool because all the while she's fighting this thing in the truck, you hear the counties being
Emergency
evacuated.
broadcast being
Yeah,
played.
just listing all the counties of the entire New York state. This county, this county, this
Yeah.
county, all evacuated, just like this, almost like this automated Siri voice over the radio. And throughout that, I think that's where the episode's going to end. But here comes Ahmed stumbling out of the house, and she just walks back to the car.
And well, no, she went out and got him.
Oh, she did. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
stumbling, and she went and
She
grabbed
went
him
out
and
and
brought him
got
back.
him and put him in the car. No matter how much he hurt her, she's still looking out for him. It's almost like she now has 3 children.
Yeah, but it's also like safety in numbers kind of thing, like no man left behind. Yeah, like if we can walk out of here together. At this point, there's just crazy stuff going on. Like I know she was mad at him before, but I mean they're finally snapped out of that a little bit because they got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, yeah, much bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know if they got a
Um,
frying pan large enough, but
But so he stumbles in, he's laid out in the back, he's bleeding, he's got blood all over his hands, he's got some kind of wound to his abdomen, I think. He looks at Luke and he looks at his kids and he looks, thankful. And then finally Anisha is able to like rock the truck free from where it was wedged and they peel out of there.
and that's essentially where it ends.
Yeah,
So we're done with the homeowners. We're done with
right.
that house.
Yeah,
They've got their car. They're now driving who knows where with a hole in the windshield in the
yeah,
rain.
in the rain. Yeah,
So now she's just driving aimlessly. Now she's just going. There's no stopping until you have to stop.
yeah. Where do you go? Listen to that evacuation announcement over and
The
over
whole
again on
state
the
of New York
radio.
says get out. Yeah. So
Yeah,
well, weren't they originally like going towards Canada?
I thought
Wasn't
so.
that
Yeah, I thought they were
was the
going
original
north.
idea? So maybe let's continue going north and hope our friends from the north will be willing to have us.
Yeah. So what's your theory about Ahmed here? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so with these aliens, I think there is a portion of them that will be wounding and leaving something in the body, like a
Mm,
parasite that will then hatch or detach or something, and then become another one. Because we've seen that last episode with Anisha when she found it within that wound.
yeah.
It's possible that that just happened again with Ahmed, and I think he'll still wind up dying, but now he has one of these little creatures. I mean, every one of these bodies that are dead,
Hmm.
these little creatures are being left behind. So basically, they're spawning within all the dead bodies.
I did think about that too, actually, because he's got a gut wound. He's with them now. He's still alive, but who knows what this alien left behind in this wound? The same kind of thing that Anisha cleared out, right? This like tiny black spore that looks like basically a miniature version of these aliens in full. Yeah, maybe that's how they procreate or something. I don't like who knows. Like he could have something growing inside him right now that he doesn't even know about.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think that's a cool angle to go about it.
That's a good way to leave it. Yeah, a little cliffhanger.
There we go. So, as a whole, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
This one here, this was the first one that I can truly say I could not take my eyes off of.
It was a breeze to watch, it was a breeze to talk about. I mean, it was short, it was just all action. And I am invested in Anisha and the safety of her family. Like, those it was kind of a slog here going through those the first half of the season where things were moving so slowly. But if things basically we have all that we need now to basically push it all the way to the whatever finale this is going to
Yeah,
be. I mean, we've got this was episode 6, right? So we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 4 episodes
4
left.
left.
And I say pedal to the metal from here and all these.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
do you think this is a trend that will continue? Do you think maybe next week's storyline will just be from one location's point of view, or do you think they'll go back to
it's
switching
going to
it
be
up?
2. It's going to be minimum 2, and the reason I say that because Apple TV drops their thumbnail early,
Yeah.
and the actual description of that episode mentions both Casper and Misaki,
Yeah, Mitsuki and over in
Masuki.
Tokyo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it basically it just outright mentions those two. Now it may only be those two storylines.
Hmm.
It mentions something about Casper revealing a secret that he may have, and then something
Hmm.
about a signal from space or something on those lines from Matsuki. So yeah, it's at least going to be 2. I would like it if they keep it at 2 and then
Yeah.
give Trevante a whole episode to himself.
That would be cool too. Yeah, if episode 8 we get back to Trevante and it's all Trevante all the time. See how he gets back to the states.
Yeah.
See whatever mission that how the heck he does that in this chaos. That would be
So that'd
cool.
be 1, 2. That'd be 2 episodes. So that'll leave 2 episodes for basically a 2-episode finale type setup,
Right. Yeah.
which I mean,
We could
can
end
be done.
strong after
Yeah,
a
it could
slow
end real
start.
strong. Yeah,
Yeah.
this could be one of the shows that the little engine that could.
Yeah.
I think I can. I think I can.
It
Uh,
rewards you for sticking with it, hopefully.
yeah, yeah, right. Uh, but are you looking forward to next week now, based on this episode, or is this like next week comes, we'll watch it, we'll kind of evaluate it then?
I'm still kind of on an episode by episode basis. I don't know. I'm not fully I'm into here's the real question, like, would I be watching this show if you and I weren't doing an after show on it? And the the answer is probably no.
I would have given it the first few episodes,
Yeah.
and then I would have. Well, I kind of the way I explained it before last week is would have been a show that I would have had on the if it was on normal TV, I would have had it on the DVR, would have
Yeah.
watched an episode or two, and then if I got behind and I didn't watch them and they got so far behind, I don't revisit, and that happens all the time on regular TV. So if it was on a streaming platform like Apple TV, uh, it's very possible that I would have just forgotten about it. Now it's happened to me already on Apple TV. I
Mhm.
love Foundations. I've watched the first few episodes of that, and I
Yeah.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I hear good things about that.
But I haven't gotten back to it
Mm.
because we're watching this and I've got other things going on. It just I'm trying to find time to watch other things, and
Yeah.
it's hard to fit 7 hours of TV into a 2-hour day.
Yeah, it sure is, yeah. I had a thought during as I was watching this episode is that I think Invasion would have benefited from just dropping all the episodes at once, honestly. I think this is a very bingeable show because you care enough to like keep you just want the story to progress and keep moving forward. And I think it would have went down a lot better if we were able to watch one after the other after the other. The week to week thing has like emphasized how slow the first half of the season was.
Yeah,
Totally bingeable,
it
but,
allowed
yeah.
too much um, bad word of mouth to
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
and bad word of mouth will kill a show in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, this is possible. If it was on CBS, it could have been shown, the first 3 episodes, and then the rest of it dumped during the summer.
Right. Yeah.
So it's one of those, but no matter. I mean, we're here for the long haul.
We are here to the end. We got 4 episodes left.
Okay, guys. Well, I mean, there's been a couple of you watching throughout this whole show, so thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, thanks.
uh, what What are we again? Who are we? I mean, I look in the mirror and I still can't recognize myself.
We are Dad and Rock. We're a couple of dads and we talk about pop culture stuff. We've got an audio podcast that you can check out everywhere podcasts are available. We did a show on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook actually last night where we discussed Disney Plus Day. Disney Plus revealed a bunch of things that have coming up to the service yesterday, a lot of reveals. So check that video out on YouTube if you haven't already. And you can join us back here every Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube as we discuss the Invasion After Show.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that a thumbs up. Every little bit helps. We really appreciate it. And leave a comment. I like responding back to people.
Yeah, tell us how you guys are feeling about this show. I mean, Chris and I are, we're some parts we like, some parts we have complaints about. Let us know what you're feeling about Invasion.
Okay, guys, and I guess that leaves us to until we see you next week. Go ahead and keep it cheesy.
See ya.